We're counting down the days until the release of Despicable Me 4. But have you noticed all the references and details in the latest trailers released for the movie? For example, in one of the new teasers and trailers, we see the Minions wearing outfits as if they were part of a racing team. And just like in racing teams, the Yellow Beings jumpsuits have various different images as if they were sponsors. And if you look closely, you'll notice that on the back, there's a symbol of a baby bottle. And the same baby bottle appears on the front of another Minion, showing that they are indeed part of the same team. Just like in racing, teams are responsible for changing the tires of race cars. It seems that the Minions are the team responsible for changing diapers. And at the moment they do that, we can see that on the Minions jumpsuit, it says Junior, showing that they are an exclusive team to take care of the villain's little heir. But not only that, if you look next to the name Junior, you'll see a symbol that looks like a little Minion on his clothes with a yellow circle and an eye in the middle. And it also appears when the Yellow Beings are putting the car seat in Gru's car. And if you dig into your memory, you'll remember that this symbol looks a lot like the symbol that appears on Ted's sneakers, the protagonist of the Lorax, where we see that the shoe is from the Gru brand. I just love these references that cross different Illumination films, don't you? We've got many more incredible details that you'll definitely want to discover with us. Many people didn't even realize, but remember that Minion who got stuck in the candy machine? It looks like he's going to spend most of the movie in there. That's because when we see the other two Minions of our favorite villain taking Gru Jr. to the car in his car seat, look who's back there with a face like a lost puppy. Him. And that's not the only time we see the poor guy once again in the corner of the image, because when we see in the trailer Gru and Lucy interacting with their youngest son, he's there again, almost imperceptibly, inside the food machine. It makes me wonder, isn't anyone gonna get him out of there? In the first trailer, we see Gru, Polly, and Gru Jr., accompanied by the two Minions invading the school for supervillains. At this moment, we see that the school has the initials LPB, which represent the institution. In this new trailer, when the chief of the Minions is looking with Poppy at a kind of model the girl made with popsicle sticks, notice that there's the same symbols and initials of the school on it. And next to it, there's a kind of entrance portal where it says Lycée pas bon, which is a term in French that means high school isn't good, which indicates that this is the official name of the school for villains, since if we put together the initials of the words, we'll have LPB, which is exactly the acronym of the institution. Besides, we can deduce that the school was founded by someone who speaks French, and I don't know if you noticed, but the name of the villain, Maxime Le Mal, is a French name. Besides, of course, his strong accent that we notice in the moments when he talks about his revenge. This may indicate that Maxime's family, Gru's enemy, may own the institution for aspiring supervillains. Ever thought about that? And if you're a fan just like us of Gru and Minions movies, comment down below, #villain. Another thing we noticed happens when the group is moving through the corridors of the Institution for Aspiring Villain Students. We see in the hallway a very atypical banner, at least for us who are not villains, which says, "Keep calm and be nasty," which is a play on the phrase, "keep calm," adapted for evil people, of course. Which, if we stop to think, really seems like something that should be taught to someone who wants to be a villain. And it really seems that Poppy studies at the school, because another item we found in her mini-villain hideout is a kind of basketball team shirt from the school for villains, since we once again see the school's initials, LPB, on her back. Probably that's why she's part of the team that's going to invade the school. I think she's going to act more or less like a guide for Gru and his Minions in there. But we noticed another cool thing too. If you look at the side of the basketball shirt, notice that there's a poster, probably a collector's item, of the Vicious Six, and who's on it is none other than Bell Bottom herself, the boss who ended up stealing the position of the old leader, Knuckles, who was Gru's mentor, and then ended up kidnapping Gru himself when he was a child in Minions 2. Good times. In addition to all that we noticed, in the same scene we realized that there's a kind of poster that is a reference to Asian anime and series. This is clear because we see some characters with traits of Japanese drawings of various colors, like green, blue, and pink. But not only that, notice that in the corner of the poster, there's one of the most famous gestures from South Korean dramas symbolizing a heart and representing love, which means that Poppy probably enjoys anime and dramas, like any good teenager. As we mentioned at some point in the movie, we see Gru going up to what seems to be Poppy's treehouse, but which everything indicates is more of a hideout for the aspiring supervillain. As soon as he enters, we can notice that next to it there's another poster with the title, Greatest Villains of All Time. But not only that, in the corner of the poster, we can see the LPB acronym and also the symbol of the institution once again, the one with the dynamite, bomb, and knife and a radiation symbol, showing that either she's a fan of the school or she really studies there. And if we look to the other side of the entrance, we see a guard made of colored balls. Note that the little machine has some details in purple, like things that look like 4 paws and a head that looks like a cat's, which is definitely a reference to Poppy's preference for felines, since previously we had seen that she even has a dance game that she and her pet play together. In fact, the place where Poppy is sitting, her floating plush seat also has the shape of a cat, with even feline ears, but being totally pink, since that seems to be her favorite color after all. But we also noticed something very interesting about it. When the girl's seat, who seems to be a Gru fan, turns to us in this scene, she has her white cat on her lap. This is a clear reference to Stavro Blofeld, the archenemy of the most famous movie Spy, 007. The villain always had a white cat in his arms, just like Poppy has her pet of the same color and slowly turns to caress it, similar to the classic villain of the spy world. Seriously, if you're a fan of cartoons and animated movies, this is the right place. So, if you're not subscribed yet, click down below right now and subscribe to the channel. Talking now about Maxima's robot cockroach, in one of the scenes of one of the new teasers of the new Despicable Me movie, we see a chase performed exactly by the villain's mechanical cockroach to Gru himself. And this scene is very fast, but if you look to the side, you'll see that there's a cockroach flying next to where Gru is. And if you look even closer, you'll notice that this cockroach is exactly Maxime Le Mal himself transformed into half man, half cockroach. When we see the scene where Gru's whole family is in the kitchen and the father tries to convince Agnes that now she's called Brittany, if you pause at the right moment, you'll see that there's a cereal box back there. The interesting thing about this cereal box is that it looks a lot like the Minions' own cereal box that we can all buy at the supermarket, only everything indicates that it has different art. It looks like Mel in its Mega Minion version, with the laser visor, which is stamped on it. Man, I would love to have one of those boxes in my kitchen too. In the new trailer, Mr. Ramsbottom makes it clear that Gru's whole family will have new identities with the move to another city, and it seems that Gru will pose as a salesman. When he introduces himself to a neighbor who seems to be an extremely snobbish person, he introduces himself and claims to be a solar panel salesman. If you look at his card, you'll see that there's a sun figure, only it has exactly Gru's face in the center. Seriously, this card was hilarious. In this same scene, we notice the symbol on Gru's pink shirt, which is a small green turtle. This is a reference to the world-famous brand Lacoste, which almost exclusively works with polo shirts, like the one our former villain is wearing, only the brand's logo is actually of another reptile, an alligator. So this is definitely a great fashion reference that the Illumination animators decided to make, which I also found sensational. In another teaser released after the official trailers, we see the Mega Minion springing into action, and Jerry's Mega Minion, the one who turned into a kind of stone ball, grabs an explosive that was about to explode, only 2 seconds left, and eats it. And right after, when the explosion happens, he lets out a huge burp. And if you look closely, you'll notice that on the hotel sign behind him, the letter U goes out and the L hangs. Now that's a burp. Really, the next Despicable Me movie seems like it's going to be better than we all imagined. I'm really looking forward to the release day. While we wait, let's enjoy other very cool videos here on the channel. That's why we've left 2 options in front of you to choose from, and keep having fun here with us. Click on the one you prefer and have a great next video. Thanks, see you soon.